So, the Middle East. It's a land of ancient civilizations, scientific breakthroughs, and some of the richest cultures in history. But, when you can have artificial borders, endless conflicts, and a VIP section reserved for foreign interventions, who needs all that? Enter Britain and France in the early 20th century. These two colonial masterminds, after World War I, looked at the collapsing Ottoman Empire and thought, hey, let's divide this up in the most chaotic way possible. And thus the infamous Sykes-Picot Agreement was born. A backroom deal where European diplomats who had likely never set foot in the Middle East carved up entire nations with all the grace of a toddler with a crayon. Iraq, Syria, Lebanon, Jordan. These weren't carefully thought out states. They were hastily drawn lines that forced together groups who had very little in common while separating those who did. What could possibly go wrong, right? Oh, and let's not forget resource control. When vast oil reserves were discovered, suddenly the West's interest in bringing stability skyrocketed. Western powers had no problem installing puppet kings, funding dictators, or orchestrating coups to keep their hands on that precious black gold. Case in point, Iran, 1953. The country had a democratically elected prime minister, Mohammad Mossadegh, who made the terrible mistake of nationalizing Iran's oil. So the CIA and MI6 did what they do best, staged a coup, threw him out, and installed the Shah, a dictator who was friendly to Western oil interests. Mission accomplished. Fast forward and the entire region becomes a geopolitical playground for world powers. The Cold War? Oh, it played out spectacularly here, with the US and Soviet Union backing rival factions in civil wars, funding extremists, and turning every local dispute into a global proxy war. Meanwhile, every time Western interventions made things worse, politicians would shake their heads and say, wow, why is the Middle East so unstable? As if they hadn't spent decades setting it on fire. Imagine a world where the Middle East had been left to develop on its own terms, where local leaders shaped their own nations, economies flourished, and innovation thrived. But no, that wouldn't have been nearly as profitable. Instead, we got endless wars, foreign occupations, and headlines blaming the victims for their own destruction. And even today, whenever the West says, we're here to help, history tells us that's usually code for, we're here for your resources. Anyway, don't forget to smash that subscribe button for more totally accurate history lessons, and if you want to support the channel, check out our partner links in the description because history ain't free. Keep it real.